Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Play Branson, where you get to know Branson entertainers better. And my name's Chris Meyer. I'm here today with Lane Victoria. Lane, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Great to be here as always.
Yes, and so we're kind of kicking off the new season, 2019 now, and things are starting to get really rolling in Branson.
Yes, they are. We're rolling with the Baldknobbers show, and that actually leads us to our next guest, who is our new male vocalist at the Baldknobbers, Shane VanCamp. So you're going to get to hear from him, and he's got some really amazing experiences, and he's a great addition to the show this year. So
I always like bringing on new entertainers to town, and so he's one of the new entertainers here in Branson this year. He's been here, but he's taken a different role, so we're excited to talk to him about that. So spring break is right around the corner, so we got a little spring break trivia. Do you know where the first official spring break was held? Any idea?
somewhere in Florida.
Yes, that's correct. It was in Fort Lauderdale, and it all started because of a swim meet of 300 students, and from there it kind of just blossomed. And now today, spring break is a $1 billion a year business. Now,
that's some expensive beach volleyball
yes,
right there.
So when you think of spring break, typically you think of wild college students, right? Mm-hmm. And so we're the alternative kind of to that in Branson. This is a place where people can come and have a great family spring break. And because that's what it's evolved to, is spring breaks are not just the wild college things anymore, but it's actually a time for families to reconnect. What a better place than Branson?
Yes, actually, spring break is usually really slammed in Branson. It's usually our busiest week of the new year. Yeah. So it's kind of when everything starts kicking
off.
So, yeah.
So Silver Dollar City is going to be opening this coming Wednesday, the 13th. And then what I've been told is about the next 3 weeks, there's a lot of spring breaks here in the Midwest happening. So it's not all on the same week, thank goodness, but then all the next 3 weeks. So if you haven't made your spring break plans, you need to. And we're going to be back in just a moment to talk to our next guest, so stay tuned.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need iBranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at iBranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. iBranson.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to Play Branson, and today we are here with Shane VanCamp, one of the newest additions of the Baldknobbers. So
That's
welcome,
right.
Good to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thank you.
So you're doing a new show, and we're going to be part of a new show,
Yes.
and so we'll talk about that in a little bit. But what I want to do is I want to go way back.
Okay.
Because you started singing at a very young age, and so
That's
kind
right.
of give people your history, because you've done a lot of stuff before even now being on a Branson stage.
Yeah, I was originally from Arkansas, a little town called Nashville, Arkansas, and there was a couple of shows in town that had like live bands, and you could get up and audition and perform. And at age 9, I think, I started singing with a band locally, did some Ronnie Millsap stuff, Lee Greenwood. Met a buddy of mine at the time that he also was running a show there, and he ended up moving. I was 8 years old, and he was a couple years older than me. He moved to Nashville, Tennessee, and started playing with all the country legends, like I think, Dolly Parton, Reba McEntire, Ricky Van Shelton, everybody. And so and then I did that, going through school, and once I graduated, I hit him up and I said, hey, can I want to pursue this music thing? And he's like, yeah, come on. And him and his wife was fortunate to let me move in with them for a couple of weeks, and I got my own place. And
so this is in Nashville.
That's right.
And
Nashville,
this was
Tennessee.
right out of high school.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so you're a young guy saying, I'm going to Nashville.
That's right.
That's pretty cool.
And so they were nice enough. His name's Kent Wells and Donna Wells, and moved in with them, and immediately he introduced me to people from Highway 101, introduced me to Reba McEntire, Linda Davis, and so through that he kind of mentored my career, and then now he's a producer for Dolly Parton. So, yeah, so he's been very influential in my life and my career.
Okay. And so what happened after that?
I pursued a record deal and had a lot of label interest, and anymore it's really, really hard to get signed, but there was a lot of interest. And after that, I started doing shows at Six Flags over Texas, Six Flags Kentucky Kingdom, Dollywood. And the cool thing about Dollywood is the show we did featured real country music singers, you know, from the Grand Ole Opry, like Jeannie Seeley, Margot Smith, Billy Walker. And we would do our own country show similar to the Baldknobbers show. And they would do like a 3-week residency where they would come and we would also sing backup for them. So through that, I got the opportunity to sing backup for a lot of my, you know, people I looked up to growing up.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I was actually just going to ask if you had a biggest influence on your art. Do you have some, maybe it was one of the people that you met, but who was most impactful in kind of shaping your artistry?
Well, believe it or not, it's not so much country, but I'm a huge Ricky Nelson fan. So I love his craft, music, just a huge fan of his. A huge fan of the Mandrells. I know that's a female, but I really liked the fact that she was really into the entertaining side of it. She didn't just stand there and sing, you know. So, yeah, I think all of those people. Earl Thomas Conley, huge fan of his as well. So I think I take a little bit of all those people and kind of press it together. And
So you mentioned Ricky Nelson, and so he was kind of right behind Elvis, really.
That's right. Yeah.
And of course, he hasn't had the play like Elvis has now, but I was big fans of his kids. The Nelsons, the brothers,
Gunnar
whatever.
Matthew.
Gunnar, yes, and they put out an awesome album back in the day. And I saw them perform, it's been several years ago now. But, so yeah, very familiar with that. And then, of course, the Mandrells, you know, Louise Mandrell had her own show here at the Grand Palace for some time.
And Barbara did too for a little while.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. A quick story about the Mandrells. Like I said, I grew up watching their TV show in the early 80s, was a big fan, and when I worked at Dollywood, Louise had her own theater in Pigeon Forge. And so I met Barbara's oldest son, Matthew, and I wanted to kind of get into the acting part of it as well. And his sister had been on a soap opera called As the World Turns.
Okay.
So through that, she actually started giving me acting lessons. And at the time, she was staying with her mom, so I got to finally meet Barbara.
Okay.
And sweet lady. I mean, just nicer than you could ever imagine. She just was a really great person, gave me great advice, and met Earlene, and I still talked to her the other day. You know, we've talked about maybe having her come up and do some stuff with us here too. So
that'd be a good, you know,
Exciting
bring those Mandrells back to Branson.
Right.
There would be good.
Great
you know?
family.
I remember actually seeing Barbara Mandrell out at Mutton Hollow, which was before Celebration City, and it was out in some arena. And I remember, and this was when I was a little kid, really taking hours to get out of the parking lot because it was a mess and there was tons of people there. But so you went from Dollywood to Longview, Texas. Talk about that.
That's correct. Yeah, after Dollywood was over, I actually went back to Nashville for a few years, and my dad was diagnosed with cancer. And so my mom's family's from that area, and at the time I intended on moving to LA and kind of pursuing the more acting side of things. And my dad's health just kind of deteriorated pretty quickly. And then unfortunately he's passed, but me and my mom just kind of regrouped. And I grew up coming here every summer. My mom and dad would bring me up here. We'd see all these shows, watch the Baldknobbers, and I wanted to be a part of it. You know, Branson's a great place, great family town. You can be a big fish in a small pond, and so yeah, I moved here and met Brandon a few years before I actually made the move.
Okay.
And Todd Bradshaw was in Baldknobbers the last couple of years, and he sings, does Kenny Chesney impersonations, and his real estate has really taken off. So it was just kind of, he wanted to kind of go to that side of it and focus more of his time on that. So unfortunately there was a spot open, and I swung for him last season, a couple of dates as well. So it just really worked out, and Brandon and Megan extended the job offer to me. So here I am.
Yeah. So talk to me about, because I mentioned Longview, Texas. Did you go to Longview, Texas for a while?
I did.
Okay.
Right.
And because you were...
Which is close to Dallas.
So you were on a praise team at a big church.
That's
there.
right.
So
yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was similar to, I believe it's Faith and Life here in Branson, maybe just a little bit smaller. I'm a big Christian, love the Lord, and love obviously the music side of it, and audition for them as well. And it was just a great time in my life to get to, worship the Lord and still have that music outlet. And yeah, just a great time. I really enjoyed it. Did that for about 3 years maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, last night I was at the theater. I was trying to stump him on worship songs. I said, "Yeah, but have you heard this one?" And yes, I know that one.
Yes.
Yeah, but have you heard this one? Have you heard this one? It took me like 8 or 9 songs before I said, "Okay, I'm going to send you this one," because
Right.
you obviously do have a heart for worship music as well. So
And I think that's the really awesome thing about Branson is that we have great entertainers on stage here, but a lot of times they're also lending their talent and using their talent in the local churches around here.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so Lane the other day sang an amazing song at our church, and she just rocked it. I don't know, what was the song? What was that song?
it was Forever by Carrie Job.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I think in Branson we're especially blessed because we have such great entertainment that then they just use that to glorify the Lord as well.
Yes.
So we'll be back in just a moment, so hang tight. We'll be back with more with Shane VanCamp.
Nearly 60 years ago, the Baldknobbers was the show that started it all in Branson, and not much has changed until now! Download the new Baldknobbers app, available on Google Play and iTunes app stores. The all-new Baldknobbers. Come see us again for the first time.
Hey folks, welcome back to Play Branson. We're here today with Shane VanCamp.
So, Shane, we have some exciting new things coming for the Baldknobber season this year. So, talk a little bit about what we have coming up and what people can expect.
Yeah, which a lot of you may or may not know. Baldknobbers were the first. This is their 60th year season in Branson, so it's monumental for the Mabe family. So for me to be a part of the 60th season is just awesome. I'm really excited. There's huge changes in store. With the 60th anniversary, we've got an all new set, lights, some new cast members, all new songs. Really excited about the direction they're headed, and yeah, just really excited.
I was seeing some of the lights and I was like, that's not like anything I've seen in this theater before, so it'll be pretty cool.
And if you've seen Baldknobbers in the past, or if you've never seen it, make sure you come see it, check it out, because it's completely different, all new for the.
And so
60th season.
you're one of the male vocalists. Are you performing on any instruments as well?
I think I'm going to do a little bit of acoustic, but primarily just a vocalist.
Just a vocalist. And so will you be out there on stage most of the time, or do you just come out as kind of like a feature throughout the show, or how will that work?
I'll be out there probably quite a bit, it looks like. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so if you were just like picking any songs that you would want to sing in that type of show, what would be some? And I know you maybe can't tell us the songs you're singing,
right?
But if you could pick anything, what would you pick?
Yeah, I'm a huge Blake Shelton fan. Obviously, I mean, I love that from today's genre. Definitely Blake Shelton. I like to do some older stuff as well, kind of what we discussed earlier. I love George Strait as well, the Earl Thomas Conley. And that's the cool thing about the Baldknobbers. They're going to still stick to their tradition, their roots, but in a more progressive, they've got something for everybody. In other words, they've got stuff for people that are used to what the Baldknobbers are, but they've got stuff that's going to be, current with what today's country music fans are expecting.
Yeah. I just think anytime you can, number one, have a show that lasts 60 years, that's an amazing feat.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And there's not very many types of businesses, number one, period, that lasts for 60 years.
No.
It's very rare. And so, congratulations to the Baldknobber family and just the legacy there.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
When you were a kid sitting out in the audiences watching these Branson shows, did you ever think that you would eventually end up on stage or did you, I mean?
No idea. I mean, obviously I wanted to, even from a young age. Can I tell you a quick story?
Oh, absolutely.
My mom and dad brought me here, one of the seasons, probably 1985, and Jerry Presley was in town, which, of those of you who don't know, that's Elvis's cousin. And he had a theater in town, and I think I was 11 years old. And I remember my mom and dad bringing me in. I really loved the show, and I was like, man, I would just love to be a part of that someday. And when I first moved to town last year, I got a job singing backup for him. So it came full circle. He actually, in one of the shows, made an announcement about that, saying, this guy, came to my show when he was 11 years old and never dreamed one day he'd be performing with me. So it's pretty cool, kind of a bucket list type thing for sure.
Well, I think, as we've talked to entertainers, just to see people's dreams come true and they pursue, like you, it's taken a long time for you to get to this point.
Right.
Now, that's not a bad or good thing, but just how God has moved you around to all these different places, and now you're here. I mean, it's a neat story.
Everything's a season, for sure.
Yeah. So do you think you'll stay in Branson long term? Is that kind of your objective at this point?
Yeah, that's my goal. I'm really happy here. I mean, it's just a great, close-knit family. Met awesome, talented people such as Lane here, and she's a great witness, for the Lord. So try to surround myself with people such as herself, and lots of great people here in Branson.
So when you're not performing, what do you like to do?
Work out.
Work out.
Work out, work out, and work out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can attest to this because I know several guys in town that last year when he was swinging for the Baldknobbers, they would be like, I ran into that guy who's the singer at the gym. I heard this from a few different people that I knew. And I asked him the other day, okay, what'd you do all winter? And he said, worked out. So
well, that's pretty much it.
Okay. But I guess it, keeps you going, keeps you energetic for the stage,
Yeah.
You got to go.
Okay, so are you single, or you got a girlfriend, you're married? Give us the status.
Single.
Single. Okay, ladies. There you go. So we got a single eligible bachelor in Branson, Missouri now. So this is, I'm trying to help all the singles in this town. You know that.
Yeah.
You know that. So.
He's the resident Cupid of Branson.
Yes.
Can I just call you Cupid?
I can try. I mean, I don't know that I've done a good job, but I can try, right? But they can come meet you at intermission, right?
That's
at the
right.
Baldknobbers, and
That's
so.
right. Well, not at intermission, but at the end of the show.
End of the
do a
show.
Meet and greet, right?
Okay. So here's the deal. If you want to meet him.
All the single ladies come to the Baldknobbers.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you're going to be like, I wish I would have never been on that show now. So.
Are you still going to be working at Mel's Hard Luck Diner this year?
I think a little bit, a couple of days a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're singing there some as well then.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's a great restaurant that's unique and different in Branson, where people, if you haven't ever been to Mel's, it's in the Grand Village, and you have singing servers. And so while you're eating your burgers and shakes and all that, you have all of them are really singing at different points in time and a big variety of music, and it's really a popular place.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you come to Branson, eat at Mel's Diner.
Yes. I was just going to say, he's known to sing some killer Dirk Bentley. You sound just like Dirk Bentley.
Yeah.
You've heard that a lot.
Yeah.
So
once or twice.
That's a good thing. We're trying to get him to buy a curly wig.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I don't like that. I like his hair better like it is.
Yeah.
So we got to wrap it up here in just a second, but what's your favorite type of music if you had to pick?
I like everything. I mean, Christian, contemporary Christian, even the old school gospel music, country, obviously. Pop, I love 80s music.
Oh yeah.
I'm all about the 80s though.
Yeah.
Guys tend to really love the 80s, Journey and Chicago. I don't know, like all those.
Def Leppard, Bon Jovi,
synth.
Journey.
Yes.
All those. Yeah. I'm an 80s
That's
guy.
him, yeah.
I'm an 80s guy, and I used to have really long hair.
Hey, Mark.
It was awesome.
Did you have a mullet?
I never called it. We never called it a mullet though. We never called it that. And in fact, sometimes it was permed.
Yes. Oh, I wasn't going to say it, but yeah.
Clay Cooper, mullets were cool, and you're still cool. So, anyway, man, it's been great getting to know you. Great. Yeah. Well, I wish you great success this year, and welcome to the Branson entertainment scene.
Thank you.
And I know you've been here a little bit, but you're moving. You're kind of moving up, as they would say, and being a featured male vocalist on a long-standing show. So, folks, be sure to go see the Baldknobbers. They're over on Highway 165 at the Branson Famous Theater. If you haven't been in town a couple years, they've moved, and so you'll see a great show with a lot of tradition, but a lot of new stuff for the Baldknobbers. So hats off to everybody at the Maid family for their 60 years in business. And so we'll be back in just a moment. welcome back to Play Branson. We just had a great interview with Shane VanCamp, and so new entertainer in Branson. I mean, he's been around, but he's going to be on the big stage, so to say, now.
Yes, and he's such a great addition. Last year when we had him swinging for the Baldknobbers, it was just such a smooth transition. He did a great job, and he is just someone that really throws himself into everything. He's writing down all these notes about, he's just very dedicated.
So when you use the word swinging, we need to make sure that people understand that term.
Yes, when our other male vocalist was gone, he was the understudy and took his place.
There you go. So I just want to make sure people understood that terminology. So here's what's coming up. Next Thursday, starting at the Mansion Theater, we have Praise Fest. And so there's going to be some special acts in town, and you know some of them, right?
Yes, Legacy 5, we have Greater Vision, Triumphant Quartet, some really big names coming and wonderful. I guess they're all Southern Gospel.
Most of them are, yes.
So I grew up listening to those.
And so then after that, Guy Penrod's going to be here in town on Saturday, March 16th.
Guy Penrod, if I have a picture of what Jesus Christ looks like, it's Guy Penrod, and he has an amazing voice and has been such a faithful just minister and singer all of these years.
Isn't he
Used
tall?
to sing with
He's
the
like
Gaither Vocal
Isn't he
Band.
a tall guy?
I don't know. All I notice is his hair.
I think he's got a lot. I think he's tall. But anyway, okay, we have other shows that are open right now as well. Shows like Six, C.J. Newsom's Classic Country and Comedy, and Dolly Stampede. Of course, there's more than that, but those are some of the new shows that have now opened.
We're opening tomorrow.
And so there we go. So the Baldknobbers will be open as well. And folks, here's our next show. One of my favorite entertainers in town, Billy Yates, is going to be here talking. And so be sure to check that out next week. Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to our Facebook page and like it at facebook.com/Play Branson. And if any artists that you want to see, let us know who they are. And if you need help planning your entire Branson vacation, you can go to ibranson.com. You can book online, or you can call them at 877-ENTERTAIN. 877-ENTERTAIN. Oh, yeah, there you go. You got the little I going there. That was very creative. Anyway, we'll see you next week here on Play Branson.